welcome to Old Roommates. Today on the show, Brian and I will be revisiting classic game shows from the 70s and 80s. So get your buzzers ready and join us.
Hey everybody! Welcome to Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pop culture through a middle-aged lens. This is Brian.
And this is Christina. Welcome.
Today we're talking about two classic game shows. We've been dying to do an episode like this. We're revisiting Match Game and the $25,000 Pyramid.
Yes, and for the first time ever in Old Roommates history, we are actually revisiting different episodes. We've never done that before. We always have revisited the same episodes of shows and movies and videos.
How quickly you forget the Christmas episode.
We revisited the same episodes. The Christmas episode, we both watched The Grinch. And we
oh my god! Sorry. I see what you're saying now. I was thinking. No, wait.
Welcome to the podcast, my friends. Oh my!
You mean individually we watched different things?
Yes.
I didn't know what you meant, Christine. You didn't explain it well.
Did you not watch a different episode?
I did.
You should know what I'm talking about.
I didn't.
You know what? This French is over.
Over. Oh my god.
As soon as this episode's done, we're done.
Oh my god. Okay.
Anyway, so this is exciting. So I have no idea what actual episodes you've seen or watched, and you don't know what
I'm excited. But
So tell me a little bit about your history, I guess. So, well, first of all, we're going to be revisiting two different game shows: Match Game, and Pyramid.
Yes,
two of my favorites. I think same as yours, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about a little bit about your history with these game shows when you were a child.
I know. With Match Game, I really loved Gene Rayburn and the giant microphone, and it was one of those things where we talk about this a lot with old movies and stuff where jokes go over your head, because clearly there's a lot of innuendo on Match Game, which I never thought about. I never caught when I was young, but I just loved how colorful it was and how bright it was and I'm telling you, I like when I watch, we talked about this a little bit with Sex and the City or other Golden Girls. We talked not that we didn't revisit the Golden Girls, but when we talk about the Golden Girls, we like when characters laugh at each other's jokes, and I loved Match Game then because they were having a great friggin' time. And they were openly laughing at each other's jokes. They were insulting each other, picking at each other, and it was just so fun.
And now, how old were you when you started watching these game shows about?
In my memory, I feel like I remember. So I did write my memory. I did write down Match Game. So it was on. So it went from 62 to 69. Then it took a break. Came back from 73 to 79. And then in syndication, 75, so it was concurrently 75 to 81. It was a weekly show. But then 79, and this is where I think I jumped in, 79 to 82, it was a daily show. So I think somewhere in the midst of 78 and 82 was my Match Game time. Now, the episodes I watched...
And it was still Gene Rayburn.
It was, yeah. And so...
they've had several hosts.
Yes, and Alec Baldwin's being the most recent one. But yeah, I mean, so it won Emmys in 76 and 77. I think I was in the single digit of an age, and I kept watching it. But, but I just loved how upbeat it was. With Pyramid, I mean, that was the show because it was fast talking, word association, and oh my god, the anxiety and excitement I would feel with the pyramid when they would those rounds when they would have to get there and be like, a broom, a cauldron, things a witch uses, and I used to get so upset because I loved pyramid so much, and I would get so upset when if they fucked up the first or second square. Like they were like, "Hey, which?" And the thing would flip, and they have to go on. And
I'm not even done with it. Yeah,
you either got $25,000 or like $350.
Yeah.
Like that. I didn't say, and you fuck it up at like the very beginning.
Yeah.
So, but I remember so vividly then, then and now, like that excitement of 60 seconds on the clock. Here is your first subject. Mm-hmm. Go. They are truly pretty different shows. Match Game is so light and fun and airy, and you almost feel like even the contestant is like, "Oh, I lost." Okay,
yeah,
I got 1 out of 6. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
How about you?
So I've always loved these game shows. I feel like I watched it after coming home from school. So definitely, young. Probably 11, 12 or something like that. And I remember it would be like an after school thing. I'd turn it on and mostly my memories are mostly from like Match Game. I remember Match Games. I loved Match Games so much. I just thought it was like just such a fun show. I loved the celebrities and it almost made me feel like when I think back when I would watch it, it made me feel like I was watching an adult show.
Oh, interesting.
I remember it was almost like watching a bunch of my parents' friends having like a bridge night or something. Because they were all smoking and they were all joking around with each other.
Yeah.
They were all drinking. And they clearly had a lot of like adult humor. Mm-hmm. And I recognized that they had this adult conversation and humor and banter. I didn't always understand it, but I knew I was old enough to understand that it was happening, and that a lot of these things went over my head. But it was almost like I felt like, it was like my parents were having a party, and like you'd sneak downstairs and kind of like peek into the living room and watch them having this party. That was the feeling I got when watching Match Game, especially with Brett Sommers and Charles Nelson Riley and Richard Dawson, because they were just such. Old school, like partying kind of parents, or not even parents, but like older people. So that was that's when I loved it. I loved the game itself too, and I was playing along. With Pyramid, I loved it. But one of the things that used to drive me a little bit crazy is I didn't like that you could always see the word, because I liked to play along. And it kind of lost something, because it's like, the word already. So it's like, it's hard to play along.
Yeah.
In the regular rounds.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I would just close my eyes and try to play along or whatever. But again, it was such energy. Such energy. You're right. It was very stressful. But I still really, really, really enjoyed it. And maybe it was a little less stressful because you did see the word. Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Well, I think I like seeing the word, because you would think, what would I say?
Yes. Yeah. You can do it either way, but yeah, definitely. But so let's dive into Pyramid. Now, and you want to start with Pyramid? I think that would be great.
Sure. So let me tell you the one I revisited. The episodes.
Okay. Yes.
Very easy to find on YouTube, by the way. All this stuff. All these game shows. The one I watched was... If
we end up watching the same ones, I will...
Please don't. I hope we didn't.
It will be really funny if it did.
Mary Carteret.
Okay, no.
Okay, from Three's a Crowd.
Okay.
But they didn't say that.
So, we'll talk about it now. Yeah, we'll talk about
Earl Hallerman, who... Is he from Dallas or something?
I don't know who that is. It must be in the 80s then, yes?
This, I think, was the 80s because it was... Because she's only... Mary Carteret, God forgive me, I think she's only from Three's a Crowd with John Ritter.
Interesting.
The spinoff. And, oh, God. Here we go. I'm going to sound like an asshole.
All right, let's hear it then.
I loved it.
Yeah.
My least favorite part was something that I really thought I was going to love. Dick Clark is mean.
Oh, my God.
Dick Clark is mean.
He is a little mean.
Christina.
Mean.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
And I took this as an affront to all women, and I was actually offended. Dick Clark, so this is in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
So there's the returning champion, a woman, who I believe is a mom, okay?
Yeah.
They welcome the new contender, this is what Dick Clark says. And I rewound it and wrote it. He's like, so your opponent is Davida. Davida, I read what you do for a job, and I still don't know what you do for a job. Why don't you tell us what you do for work? Like, so fucking nasty.
Yeah.
So she talks and she says that she is a corporate planner for a large restaurant company. And he goes, and I still don't know what you do.
Oh my god. He's in the entertainment.
I'm not kidding. And she was like, we do event-based things for whatever, different companies. And he's like, okay. He's like, well, you're playing with a great... It's like, oh my god, you're a dick.
Oh
like, he's truly a dick. So then, and it doesn't stop there, okay?
Yeah.
They start 7 out of 7. Boom. Gets it. And I mean, like, plenty of time left, right? Do you know what he says? Well, that's how you play the game. Lara, I'm like, oh my god.
Wow.
It's her first time, probably on television. It's her first round ever. Mm-hmm. She gets a 7 out of 7 with plenty of time to spare. And it wasn't even like, nicely done. Good job. What a way to start the game. I think he had something out for Davida. And I wondered if it was because she worked. Or like, I don't know. It was weird.
It's really interesting.
Tell me. Talk to me.
It's really interesting that you say this. Because, so the episode that I watched, it was earlier. It was a 1976 episode. Okay. It was actually the $20,000 pyramid.
Oh.
So, yeah, and so it's funny. You said it was easy to find. I had a really hard time trying to find a pyramid.
On YouTube?
On YouTube. I was, for some reason, I don't know, because a lot of them were just
the snippets. The 3 minutes. No, I watched a full episode.
So I was looking and looking. I did too. Yeah. I ended up doing it. But I was looking and looking and looking, and there were a lot of the newer ones. There was the ones from '82. That was probably the daily ones with the different hosts. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of the snippets at the end. There was one that I found that I was going to watch, but then I was like, I think I want to do a little bit further back. It was Leanne Hunley and Stuart Damon.
I saw that one on there.
Did you watch it?
I didn't watch it, no.
I almost watched it, but I ended up not, because I felt like it was just 80s, and it was just, I don't know. For some reason, I just wanted to get something a little earlier. But then there's a $10,000 pyramid. Yes. There's a $100,000 pyramid. There's a $15,000. There's $20,000. So the one I found was a $20,000 pyramid, and it was 1976. And if you guys can ever look this up, it was weird. The weirdest thing. Like I said, I had a hard time finding them. Okay. And then the first 20 seconds is like this. It's like a chalkboard, and it says on it. It's almost like it was before. It was like during the production of it. It was a chalkboard. It just said $20,000. It said the date, 6/15. It said, the director or something like that. Oh, and just like, and it sat there for like 15 seconds, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And all of a sudden it started going on, whatever it was. Yeah. And but that's it. And it was weird. But anyway, so my stars were Joanne Worley.
Oh my god, loved her.
Fantastic. Yeah. She was from Laugh-In. She was just a comedian and actress.
Very funny lady.
Very funny lady. And Tony Randall.
Oh wow, funny.
From The Odd Couple. Yeah, so everybody knows Tony Randall. So, but what I was going to mention was, one of the things that I thought was interesting, and I will get to my point in a second, but one of the things I thought was interesting was it picked up, so I think back then, they only filmed for as much time as they had, and they would carry over to the next.
Oh.
So it showed up. The first thing they did
was the pyramid.
Was what is it called? The Winter Circle.
Winter Circle, yeah.
They started at the Winter Circle.
That's so funny.
And I'm like, oh my god, I kind of remember that they did this.
Yeah.
It started like ringing bells. I'm like, oh my god, that's so funny. But how annoying, right? Having to wait. But so they did this, and it was a woman, and then they lost. No, one of them was lost.
Okay.
And they had and Dick Clark was just like, whatever. Like, she got like 3 wrong. Like, she got like, they passed on like 3 or something, right?
Yeah.
And he wasn't very enthusiastic about it. And then they introduced the new contestant.
Okay.
With Joanne Worley, who was, by the way, amazing. He was this guy, and he was like, he got so many crazy answers. Like, I'm like, oh my God, like ether. So like, it was like, oh my God. But he was so complimentary to him. He was like, wow, that was great, great, great. But the girl who had already been in the winner's... Oh, that's right. She was in the winner's circle. Remember how they did it? Like, they did it twice. First they were in the winner's circle, and then they would go back and play another round. Right. Yeah. So it was that. And so... they basically... He lost by 1 point.
Ooh.
This new guy.
Yeah.
And... So he's like, all right, come on over to the girl. Come on over. And he's like, wow. He's like, that was amazing. And he still started talking about the guy. And he's like, that was incredible. What an incredible game that was. Boy, in any other day that you would have been in this winner's circle right now.
What is his problem?
I think it's a sexist thing.
Wow.
This is very limited, but this is 2 episodes. But he was clearly more enthusiastic about the guy and so complimentary, and like with her, it was sort of like not that big of a deal. And then and she goes, what did he say? So one of my favorite things that I used to do that used to make me laugh is at the end when they didn't get it.
Yes, I know what you're gonna say. Yeah.
And he would just come over. Yeah, we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
And he'd just come over and be like. Garbage. And she'd be like, truck types? Yeah, that's it. Like, and really make everybody feel wicked stupid. And he'd just say like 1 word and she would figure it out. But he did this to her and she didn't get it right away. Did I write down?
Can I do one? Because
Yeah,
this is one. Because I'm going to do it to you. Ready?
Okay.
Old coins. There's like 8 seconds left on the clock.
Okay.
Old coins. Rings.
Things you collect.
Rings.
Things that are tarnished. Things
Jewelry.
you clean.
Jewelry. Rings.
Things made of metal.
Coins. Old
things
coins.
of metal.
And the clock walks over.
Oh God.
Let me try something. So it's Vicki Lawrence. So I watched a few episodes. So Vicki Lawrence was in this one. So he's like, let me try something. King Midas's treasures.
Things that are gold?
Yeah, see? Vicki, what was it? Vicki, and that's what he said, just see. And Vicki Lawrence goes, that's why I hate you, Dick. And the audience gasped. The audience gasped. That's why I hate you, Dick.
But he would do that every single time.
He's so rude. Like,
he wasn't called Dick for nothing.
I wrote this. Here's why. This lady was like, I mean, imagine if she was like, what would you do with $25,000? Oh, I built a ramp for my disabled mother. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, and then he comes over and he's like, she missed $25,000 by like 2 words. And he's like, see? It's like, yeah, I see that you're a jerk. Like, you could have been like, that was a hard one. Yeah.
He just comes out with just one
rub it
word.
In.
Yeah. So with this other woman, so then she ended up missing a couple, and he came over. I can't remember what the word was, but it wasn't that bad. And he didn't get it. She didn't get it, and then he's trying to do it, and he's like, well, what if I said this? And she's like, was it? And he's like, oh, I won't prolong the agony. Turn around.
Oh, God.
I'm like, oh my gosh, Dick, stop. You're being a dick. But the other thing that was really surprising was this woman. So then it came through again. So this particular episode, I saw like 3 different winner circles. Yeah. Because it was the way that the timing was. So then this woman went back and she won it again. Mm-hmm. And she went and so she's paired up with Tony Randall. And this was the weirdest thing. Like, I'm like, what is he doing? So they're in the winner circle. She gets everything. She wins it all. Okay?
Oh, nice.
It was $15,000 that she won.
Yeah.
I mean, she was crazy excited. Like, jumping up and down for like forever, right? Yeah. Tony Randall, I wish our listeners could see this. Yeah. Tony Randall
stands
up. and he's kind of like a blank face. Like, he's a serious guy kind of anyway. He's straight as an arrow. Just, And she's like trying to hug him. She's jumping up and down like a maniac.
I'll have to watch it.
And I don't know if I think he was trying to be funny, but he did it for so long. And then he goes, oh, all right. And then he hugs her, and he starts getting excited. But it lasted for so
that's awkward.
long. It was so awkward.
God, I watched one with Abby Dalton she's from Falcon Crest. I don't know where these people are from.
Oh,
but
those are the 80s.
She was crying.
Oh my god.
She was crying. They won 25,000. She was tears coming down her face. She was so happy for the guy.
Wow.
Really quick, so Mary Carteret from Three's Record makes it into the winner's circle. This is another Dick Clark moment.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my fucking god.
We loved Dick Clark.
I loved him then. I loved it. I wanted to be Dick Clark back then. Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. So it was. Oh, I'm gonna do it. Ready? These are the actual clues Mary
so much
said.
Pressure right now.
These are the clues Mary Carteret actually said. She goes, Eve's snake, a luscious dessert.
Temptation.
Yes! But she didn't get it. So then Dick Clark walks over.
Oh god.
He's like, Christina, I swear to God. Guys, you have to find these clips. He's so rude.
Oh my god.
He goes, Mary, is that right? She goes, what? He's like, is that right? Eve's snake? Wouldn't it be Eve's apple? And he's like, he looks at the director. He's like, it would be Eve's apple, right? Oh my god! He's like humiliating her! And then
so he's rude to the celebrity too.
Oh my god. Well, a woman.
A woman celebrity.
It's like, this is money.
God.
What are you doing? You're making the contestant.
So it was all about Dick.
Her.
It was all about Dick.
All about Dick.
Like, this is an easy
Is that
game.
right? Is it? And he's like, is that right? Isn't it the apple, not the snake that's tempting? Oh my god! Oh god! I loved Dick Clark. I loved him, and I'm telling you, watching it now, and I mean, I don't know why suddenly, but I really felt for his barbs were just like unnecessary. The person already lost. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not.
That's
it's
all
not
I
cool.
said.
Not cool.
Oh wait,
I did see one of the things I did like is at the end of the episode, they were all. I don't know if they still do this in any of the game shows. I don't watch a ton of game shows. Oh, but I will say I did watch. I have watched the new one with Michael Strahan.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big fan of the new one.
Okay. What's different?
I think he's okay. I feel like there's not as much energy.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just not as exciting, I don't think.
Yeah.
So he's a little dry. I mean, he's probably nicer to the contestants, but I don't really. I've recorded them and just not really even bothered to watch some of them.
So funny about the energy thing, because I've watched a lot of them, and I feel that when they're looking for contestants, I hate to say that, I think they're looking for like weirdos. Mm-hmm. Have you noticed that on that new one? Because the people are like a little off. Yeah. And when they win, they jump out of their chairs and like they smack their own ass. Like I've seen like weird shit on the new one, and it's like I feel bad for them. Like it's like
I feel like they used to look for that at for Price is Right. I think they used to do that.
Oh, okay.
Look for the weird people in the audience. Yeah.
Really? Oh, good.
Oh no, go ahead. You go ahead. I've been speaking.
No, I feel like I've been talking a lot. Really quick. Betty White, I watched one thing with Betty White, right?
Oh, I love her so much.
She has these gigantic glasses on. Can you not get a reflection on the board? So I was like, is that cheating? Because they won $25,000, and it was pretty fast.
Good question.
So I was like, how does she not see the reflection in Betty White's gigantic glasses?
Although, do you think it would be obvious if, like, I was trying to look for it in a reflection? Be like, things that move? Oh, no, things that move.
One was funny, Christine, because it said joyful, and the princess is happy, and she's like, I'm telling you, there was one where I was like, I think she fucking looked in her glasses.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Look it up, Betty White.
Wow, I will look that up. If I can find it. It was so weird how difficult it was. The only other point I wanted to make about this pyramid is, did I even how they were chatting at the end?
The what?
I started to say it and then I got distracted by Michael Strahan.
I missed what you said.
They all would like chat at the end, like the celebrities and Dick Clark and the contestant, all just like standing around. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, that was a good game," like talking about the game.
Really?
Like, that clue was a really good clue. But like 10 or 15 seconds, they were just like chatting, and they're like, "All right, join us next time."
Oh, I remember that.
So it was kind of, I liked it.
That's right.
It was
and Dick Clark would sort of turn away from it and be like, "Join us next time." Like, what a fun
but they were like
time
all
they have.
standing up around and like just all chatting. Like,
I would love it. Would you? Which?
But I feel like this. I feel like if they still did this, and I think this is the difference between then and now.
Yeah.
I think they would be like, "So what are you? What can we see you in next?" Like it would all be like a marketing thing as opposed to just like a chatty thing.
That's right. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah. That's true.
What were you going to ask me?
I would love to be on Pyramid now.
I would love to be in any game show.
We'd be awesome in Pyramid.
We would.
We love Catchphrase, and I think that and even Taboo. Like I have no doubt I would end up in the winner's circle.
Oh, there's no question. Yeah. No question. No question. And then the only other point I wanted to make was at the end of the episode, they had all the prizes, like the consolation prizes. Yeah. They had like 6 or 7. I wrote down a few.
Wow.
It was draft root beer.
Nice.
Chapstick.
Love it.
Motor oil.
Of course.
And, of course...
The Price is Right. Pyramid home game.
No! They didn't have it back then.
Rice-a-Roni.
Rice-a-Roni! You had it! That's right.
Really quick. I've said really quick. You called me on this a couple episodes ago, and that's all I noticed. But have you seen the one with? Did I talk about this before with you? The Tom Brady and Edelman.
No, and they were terrible. You told me they were terrible.
Oh my god! Everyone, try and find Tom Brady and no, it's not Tom Brady. I'm sorry, it's Gronk. Gronk and Edelman on the $100,000 pyramid from Michael Strahan. Holy shit! I don't want to say what I want to say, but they could have been better. We'll say that.
Yeah, I bet they could.
They were awful. They averaged 3 points out of 7 each time. Oh. Christina, at one point...
you just feel so bad. And I feel
it's money, for God's sake.
The one I watched, they were very evenly matched. I felt like Joanne Worley and Tony Randall both did a good job. But then you watch these shows where there's one celebrity who's clearly just never played the game before and just really bad, and you feel really, really bad for the contestant. Well,
I still watch it now, and one was Joel McHale versus Allison Hannigan. Oh my god, Allison Hannigan from Buffy and How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
She is horrible at this game.
Wow.
Oh my god, it was so bad. And Joel McHale is awesome at this game.
I'm sure
he's so good at this game. But anyway, I digress. It's so worth watching.
It's good, yeah. And just the whole set is so different and simple, and just the energy's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the energy's amazing.
Good stuff.
All right, so let's take a break.
We'll come back with Match Game.
Definitely. Hey there, it's Brian and Christina. We just wanted to take this break to thank you for listening to Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pop culture through a middle-aged lens. Please subscribe to Old Roommates on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. And give us a rating or review while you're there.
And if you have any questions, comments, or observations, shoot us an email at oldroommatespod@gmail.com. And follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Old Roommates. Thanks for listening, and now, back to the show. Love it.
We are back. We were talking about Pyramid, and now we are talking about Match Game, some classic game shows.
That was the theme, by the way.
That was the theme. And it's funny, we try to do that With our match game, I don't think we do the right song. Yeah, that sounds nothing like what we just played.
But I don't think that's the music that they're writing their answers to. That's
the theme song. You're right. You know what? You're right. You are right.
That never happened.
That's the first time I've said those words in my entire life. So we were revisiting some classic game shows. And what's funny is each of these shows that we're talking about have been remade recently and are pretty successful.
Yeah.
So we talked about Pyramid and the remake with Michael Strahan, and now we're talking about Match Game, a game show that is near and dear to my heart.
Oh my God, mine too.
Love this show. And I really love the remake too. And I know we're not here to talk about the remake, but I think that they have done a really nice job remaking it in a similar style that it was, kind of bringing back that nostalgia, if you will, but also not being too campy about it and still being somewhat modern.
Oh, I think so, for sure.
Right? I feel like they've done a really nice job at that. But we're not here to talk about that show. Match Game 1977 is the show that I revisited.
Okay.
And this one had a slew of, obviously 6 celebrities. So, and I think most of them are pretty well known. So, Joey Bishop.
Okay. From
the Rat Pack.
Oh my God. Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
All the way from the Rat Pack. And apparently he had like game show, like a variety show and all that kind of stuff. Quite famous.
Okay.
Of course, Brett Sommers, who was a staple on the show, as was Charles Nelson Riley.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Allen. So I had to kind of look her up. I think she was probably more famous as a younger actress.
Okay.
When she was on this show, they mentioned CPO Sharpie as the show that she was on.
Oh my God.
Never heard of it.
Okay.
Never really. The name sort of sounds vaguely familiar. I think that she's done other things. Richard Dawson.
Of course.
Yes. And Fannie Flagg.
Oh, cute. Okay.
So it was a great celebrity panel. What did you watch? Which let's go back and forth.
All right, so
keep going on
my group was, and I mean this with all the love of my heart. There is something when I read a little bit of the wiki about this, like that Brett and Charles Nelson Riley and Richard were the mainstays because they were so popular. Like, they loved that camaraderie between the three of them. But there's something interesting with Richard Dawson, which we'll get to. But I kept thinking, it was like, oh my God, it's like Christina, me, and Rob Shell.
Oh my God!
Like, Rob is so Richard Dawson. You're very Brett. I'm very Charles.
Oh my
It would just be so funny.
Oh my
I want that job.
That would be so fun.
Oh my God. So mine was...
Well, Ian, before you go on,
sure.
Interestingly enough, the three of us actually tried out for a game show.
That's right.
Do you remember that?
That's right. VH1.
It was VH1. What was the
Pop
name of it?
Culture Battle or
Something
Pop
like
Culture
that.
Championship.
But we actually went to New York and we auditioned and we made it pretty far.
They called us and they said they would only call if we didn't get. They would only call if we got it. And they called. We were out to dinner and they actually called. VH1 called, and I was like, oh my God. And I was like, hi VH1. And they were calling to say that we didn't get it, but they really loved meeting with us.
Right.
That was nice.
We made it far enough that we actually had like the interview part. Yeah. Because there was like the test to see if we really knew what we were talking about. And then they had like this interview kind of thing. But so we were almost on a game show. So I think the three of us would work well together in Match Game.
So here, my group was Brett Sommers, Charles Nelson Riley, Orson Bean. Okay, I don't know who that is.
Bean.
Pat Delaney from Swiss Family Robinson.
Oh my gosh.
Richard Dawson and Betty White.
Oh,
doing Mary Tyler
Betty
Moore.
White.
Yeah, I want to quickly say when Gene Rayburn, the giant microphone, is walking around, and he's saying like he did call out what they were working on. So like your group, he said the Sharpie thing. He said to Pat Delaney, he's like, so you some kind of joke like, oh, you left your whole Swiss Family Robinson to join us, and she laughed. And he didn't even let her say anything. And we went right on.
And that was just us. It was in passing.
Oh yeah.
And she was the only one that she spoke with in terms of what they're working on. That's one of my notes.
That's so funny. Yeah. So he said, Pat Delaney left Swiss Family Robinson, left her Swiss Family Robinson, and Betty White is here from the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Yeah.
And then he goes, and the rest of you, and he looks at them and he's like, I hope you find work soon. The audience was as drunk as the audience was screaming and booing every minute.
I know. So many boos.
Like they booed all the time.
The poor contestants. They weren't even that bad of the answers. I mean, some of them were pretty bad.
The booing was out of control.
The booing was completely out of control. And I kind of wish they still did this on the Alec Baldwin version. But they were totally drunk and totally into it. And I wonder how many shows they would tape in a row too. Just, you know what?
That's a good point.
I wonder if they taped like 4 in a row, and by the 4th one they're like, "Boom! Kick them out of here!"
The audience was wired. Oh my god.
So first, my first impressions. Of course, it brings me right back. I loved it. It was so fun. My first impressions were, number one, that he didn't really go up to each of the celebrities to ask, like, what are you working on? Like, it was such a non-issue. Like, it was such a different feel back then. They weren't there because they were promoting something. They were there because they just wanted to be on a show. And you could feel it. Like, they really enjoyed themselves. Yeah. They had so much fun together. It was great. That was my first, my gut thought about my first initial reaction. The other part, and you're going to think I am the biggest idiot.
Uh-oh.
I never noticed. Now, remember, I was 11 or 12.
Sure.
You know, I mean, I've seen it since, but I never noticed how flamboyant Charles Nelson Riley was.
That's so interesting.
It never even occurred to me that he might be gay. It's fine either way or whatever. It never even...
You don't even remember him as being, like, eccentric? You don't remember him as, like, a
I remember him being sarcastic and funny, but I did not remember him being eccentric or at all, like, flamboyant at all.
I remember he wore a lot of scarves. And I did remember him being like, and certainly I didn't know what gay was back then. We talked about it on the Three's Company episode. But like, I really didn't know what gay was, even though I was. But like, or am. But it's like, I remember the scarves a lot. I remember the big glasses and the scarves. And certainly his voice. Like, the drawl, like whatever. Because it was different than Paul Lynde, which was, right. But Charles Nelson Riley was quite elongated pronunciations. Right. So, but I certainly didn't identify that as, say, feminine or gay or anything non-traditionally 70s masculine. Right. I thought it was just his way of dressing and speaking, and I accepted it. And I think that's because you're kids. You're like, oh, that's cool. I mean, you don't really know until the bullies into your life.
It didn't. I loved all of them. I really did. Especially Brett and Charles. I mean, and Richard Dawson was not to love, but like those two, when I think of Match Game, that's who I think of. Those two and Gene Rayburn.
Brett Sommers' husband is
Jack Klugman.
Very good.
And you know,
he recommended her for the show, I believe.
Oh, cool. Yeah. One of the I watched. So I watched one full show, and then I watched bits and pieces of others.
Yeah, that's what I did.
But one of the shows of the bits and pieces, Jack Klugman was actually on it. And Charles Nelson Riley wasn't.
With Brett?
Yeah, with Brett.
Oh my god.
Isn't that funny? She was actually on, she played his wife on The Odd Couple. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I never knew what she did.
Yeah, I know, I didn't either.
I honestly assumed she was like a writer, right? Because she has that sort of like wizened, like, you can just kind of picture her behind a typewriter writing some scathing book or something.
So yeah, she was an actress, but she didn't, do a lot. Yeah. Something really interesting I found out about my contestants. I did a lot of not a lot of research, but I did some research on each of them. Yeah. Except for Elizabeth Allen, I couldn't figure out. But Fannie Flagg.
Yeah.
Did you know she wrote a novel
Oh, yeah. Is it something with banana... No.
You're on the right
kitchen
track.
sink?
You're on the right track. No.
Banana... No, what was it?
No, it was turned into a movie.
Not fried green tomatoes.
Fried green tomatoes. So her book was Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe.
Oh, wow.
And they turned it into fried green tomatoes. I had no idea. Isn't that so cool?
That's funny.
But she's great. I remember her from just being a funny actress, character actress.
Likable. That's the whole thing. Like, that's your prerequisite. You have to be likable
yes.
To be on Match Game.
Yeah, which... I don't know if they're actually doing that these days.
No, I know. But I'll tell you
Latoya Jackson was on it once.
Oh my god. Well,
Some of them were like, what?
I told you that Julie Kavner, and I love Julie Kavner, she was on it. And Christina, and because now it's an hour long, those episodes.
Yes, but it's two separate...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's two separate episodes together.
Yeah. And what was so funny is... 3 out of the 4 rounds, I matched with Julie.
Oh my gosh,
yeah, and Carl's like, oh my god. I'm like, we have that same sensibility, but the other ones like went kind of dirty and cheap. And she was playing it sort of smart and savvy, and I was like, I think because she wants the person to win.
Well, that's what pisses me off. And that
now I feel like more than that.
Where they write down something that is funny, and it's like, you're an asshole. Like, you're supposed to be...
The person lost money.
Matching the contestant. You're supposed to be writing down what you think the contestant's going to say. It's not going to be some friggin' hilarious joke.
Like, look how funny I am.
You know, Jill
McHale
does that a lot.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. There's a couple of them that do that often, and it's like, I don't even want you on my team. Like, I don't even, like, it's just, I think it's rude, and it's obnoxious. But back then, they wanted them to win.
They really tried.
And I don't know if you found this to be true.
The questions were easy.
Oh my god.
So easy. I have one. Ready?
Okay.
And let me put it this way. Everyone wrote the same thing. El Cheapo Airlines is so cheap.
How cheap are they?
Well, they hired apes now to fly the plane. The only real problem is cleaning up all the blank out of the cockpit.
Banana peels?
I was going to do the music.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, banana peels. What else would it be?
Right? I was thinking about
fur. Yeah.
But then, banana peels.
Banana peels. But all the questions were like that.
Yeah,
it was. I didn't write that down.
I said the same thing. Did I write any of them down? Because I didn't even write any of them down. But I was like, really? Like,
or the question is, the answer is sex, right? Because it's like,
it's always some sort of sexual thing.
It's like, I don't even know. Horny, it's like horny Henrietta's husband is so lame. No, Mr. Fix-It is so lame. It's like, how lame is he? The only thing he isn't good at making, or whatever, fixing, or, no, it was making. Maybe he's a builder. It's like, his making is blank. Of course, like, what baby?
Well, yes, of course. And, yeah, the one I remember off the top of my head, and they were all very easy, and still people got 0 points. It's like, are you kidding me? And that was one of the things, actually, I was thinking that with Match Game, especially this, like the modern day one, I feel like they purposely get like really stupid contestants.
100%.
Right? I really feel like the test is, a lowest score gets you on the show. But one of the questions was Lawrence Welk was, it's something like they're changing the bubble machine. Instead of bubbles, it's going to be champagne bubbles, which is great, except the Andrews sisters are always blank.
Drunk.
Like, what the fuck else would it be?
Tipsy? That's
what
drunk
else?
Too.
I mean...
Tipsy,
so
drunk.
The contestant... So obviously it's drunk, right? The contestant says hi. And thank God they took hi for drunk. Because all the other six of them said drunk. Observations of the show that's a little different?
Sure. I feel like they left a lot of stuff in that had nothing to do with the show. Like, at one point there's a fly in the studio in one of the episodes I watched, and Gene, is running around after the fly. And it's just part of the episode. They leave it in.
That's what's so fun about it. The episode that I watched, Gene is talking to the celebrities, and he's like, "Oh, I need a tissue. Hey, get me a box of tissues over there." And the cameraman comes from behind the cameraman, hands him a box of tissues, and he blows his nose on camera.
Oh my god!
It was bizarre. Like you would never ever. First of all, that would be edited out if they did do that, but he would never think to blow his nose on camera. It was so funny to see that.
One more thing. So Betty White was on this episode, right? And she's married to Lyndon.
Yeah,
Alan. London? Whatever. So, but he says, so Gene Rayburn, it was, so it's the money round or whatever, so it's like, I gave blank. And there's three answers, right? So Betty White goes first. She's like, I gave at the office the next 25 seconds. They're like, oh, I heard you gave at the office. That's how you got this job. And they're all going around. And Betty White is just there laughing and smiling. And like, she's hating every
But you know what, though? That's her thing, though. That's her running joke. And I think it's funnier now because she's 98 or 99 and it's like funnier now.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's always been her thing to be like, hey, I'll do you after the show.
But you know what? I think because it's about her husband then. I'm telling you.
But with her being in her husband, yeah, that makes sense.
Because it was like, I think she's a little more like, because at one point.
It is very, that's
one point there's a joke with Brett and someone else and he's like, oh, Alan's going to give you a whack, right? Like to Brett. And Betty White's up, she's like, wait, are you saying Alan? And like, she didn't like it. She didn't like it. Because she didn't like that someone saying that Alan was going to hit a woman. And then, one of them was, it was the match game thing, and it was like, mean Marty is a really mean kid. How mean is he? Well, he took the neighborhood cat and ran him through a blank.
Oh,
Betty White does not do the animal thing.
Nope.
She stood up and walked off camera.
No way!
They did. And then I got Betty's gone, and she's like, oh. And then everyone goes around and it's all like a clothes wringer, the washing
So what did she
machine.
do? Did she just not play?
She wrote car wash, and then she wrote, but he was in a car at the time, so he was fine. She was not happy about it. She was really upset.
Yeah, I don't believe she's always been
very,
And the other thing with the sexual innuendos, it's usually her doing the sexual innuendos.
For sure, and she was playing Sue Ann Nibbins at the time.
Right, and that's her character, sure. But yeah, so it does take on a different take if all the other people in the panel are like, you're
everyone's
a slut.
Joining in. Yeah,
that's not.
And because they were tying it to her husband too. I think it was a little like, oh, okay, yeah. How about you?
So the blowing of the nose thing was funny, but so the winners returned. So did you?
Yeah.
So there was like, and I remembered that after I had forgotten, and then I remembered it after when I started watching it. And I did notice that you talked about Dick Clark being a little bit mean. Gene Rayburn was a little bit mean
to the contestants.
What did he say? So he said, am I going to be able to even read my writing? So one of the contestants was not very good. But the thing is, she answered the question, and I forget what the question was. It was a terrible answer, but she said a massage parlor or something. Yeah. And she was clearly trying to do something sexual. You know how sometimes they're like, all right, they're looking for something sexual, but it's not necessarily a question that begs that answer.
Yes. Yeah.
So she said massage parlor, and then Gene turns to her and he's like, why would they want to build a massage parlor next to that place? Like,
no.
He questioned the answer, and she's like, I don't know. And he's like, I don't know either. And like wicked rude, he did that several times, and then, because the answer was so it was a restaurant. Everyone was getting food poisoning.
Okay.
And so I forget how it was worded, but the building next door opened up. And so she said massage parlor. And he's like, why would you do massage parlor? And then he goes to the first one, Joey Bishop, and he said hospital.
Yeah.
And he turns to the contestant. He goes, yep, that's the definitive answer. And all all of the celebrities said hospital, so
Yeah.
he was right. And then he turns to her. So talk about beating a dead horse,
Really?
right? Like, really, enough. You've already ragged her to pieces.
Yeah.
She's already like a little pile on the floor. Like, leave her alone. So then he
Leave her
comes up to
alone.
her and he goes, you know, if you said hospital, you would have swept the floor.
Oh my god. No
oh my
shit,
God,
Sherlock.
enough,
Yeah,
Gene.
really.
Lay off.
So he did the same thing. So this was woman, it was, and she was, I guess Hispanic. She spoke broken English.
Okay.
And so the question was, wow, these lawyers are really notorious. He's like, this lawyer, he's like, I read the story where a lawyer came into court yesterday and was accused of leading the witness because he walked in with a blank. Leading the witness. Well, he walked in with a blank. Christina?
A leash?
Right, of course.
Right.
She says, a lie detector test.
Oh.
And he goes, no. But you know what's even worse? The audience didn't laugh. He's like, no. He's like,
oh.
So, and he goes like this. And, you know, because he goes, so leading the witness is an expression that is like,
so now he's
explaining to her.
Oh my
He's like,
God.
you know, and he's like, and I think when our writers wrote it, they assumed everyone knows what that expression means, but not everyone does.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
And honestly, they all had leash.
Yeah, of course. Well, because I think back then there was literally a definitive answer.
Yeah.
Like now,
That's a
there's
good
definitely,
point,
you can go either way. There's a couple of different ways you can
Yeah.
go for the most part. Back then, at least in the episodes that I saw, there was one definitive
That's true.
answer.
Yeah.
So maybe, I mean, it wasn't necessarily matching the contestant. It was getting the right answer. Like, there was a right answer.
Yeah, true.
So maybe that was what his little, attitude was all about. I do think it was funny. Again, they left in the middle of the game and to continue the game next time.
Oh yeah, so
Yeah.
weird. The people came back like you said.
Yeah. But even like before, like right in the middle of the game, like, oh, we're out of time. Okay. And then they would pick up the next time with like, okay, the same contestants and like, okay, Richard got the one right. So you only need to match 3. Like it was literally the beginning of smack dab in the middle of the game.
Yeah.
Very strange.
It's also very like anticlimactic too. It's like
Yes.
So I watched one where when they do the money round where it's like blank yard, okay, and she didn't get any of the 3.
Yeah.
So, but the celebrities all helped her, and they were the only one that got one on the board was Betty White. Blank yard. What would you say?
Backyard.
That's correct. So but that was number 3.
Oh, okay.
The number 1 answer.
Yard?
No, I'm lying. That was number 1. Number 3 was
thank goodness.
It's
rare that I don't get number 1.
Number 3 was the longest yard. The longest.
that must have been a popular movie at the time.
And then barnyard.
Barnyard.
And then backyard. And Betty White said backyard. But
that's a hard one.
But Brett at one point, so they do the longest yard in barn, and Brett Sommers yells out, "Who are these people?"
Yeah, it's supposed to be
the audience. Yeah, right.
So did they end the game there?
And then they gave her $100. So I'm like,
that's what they do now.
Right. So I'm like, oh my god, she doesn't have a chance to turn that $100 into $1,000. Nope. They gave her $100. Then started the next round.
Oh, so they didn't have to do
the big money.
They didn't do the big money.
So
yeah, that's what's different. Okay.
That's very different now. So here's the thing. This is interesting bit of trivia. I found this fascinating. Richard Dawson was on the show forever, and then he got Family Feud. So he had his own show, but he was still doing Match Game.
But what? Okay.
So he was getting really tired.
Wasn't he on Hogan's Heroes though?
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
Was that before or all during? So
it must have been before.
Maybe he had 2 jobs then.
It must have been before.
But he was getting a little tired, and what happened when it was that matching the star, the final round.
Yeah.
He was picked 95% of the time. It was always Richard.
I'm sure.
So he was like,
good.
I know, but apparently maybe too good. Because it was discussed with the producers and CBS that people have to stop picking Richard because he's usually right and we're also afraid he's getting a little tired of this show.
Yes.
So, Richard had complained a bit, saying, listen, they keep picking me. I just, like, it's like, and then they weren't thrilled because they were truly giving out a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, they're like, we're going to bring in the Star Wheel, where the person has to remember? And they just spin the wheel.
I do remember that. Oh, that sucked. As a contestant, that sucked.
So they introduce the Star Wheel. And where does it land the very first time?
Richard, of course. Oh my gosh.
He quit! So after that happened the first time, 3 people left. They walked off the stage.
Oh my god!
And they had to wait for him to come back, right? And then Richard, at the end of the episode, he gave his notice. He's like, I really can't do this anymore.
Yeah. But thank you for the effort, but no thank you. He was really good. And I thought it was interesting because now when you watch it, I hate to keep them comparing, but how can you not?
No, I know.
Now when you watch it, they pick the 3 stars.
Yeah.
Right? And then usually whoever got the matching one, you move on to the next round.
Yes.
Right?
That's correct.
What's the last one? The super one.
The big money round?
Big money round. Something. Yeah. What was interesting on the episode that I watched, he had picked 3 celebrities. He matched, moved on, and then for the matchy match, he picked Richard.
Oh!
He wasn't one of the original 3. Isn't that so funny? Like, you'd never see that now.
That's so funny. Yeah, I was just shocked at
it. It just must have been that
Yeah.
everybody picks Richard for the last one.
Yeah. It's so funny because, like, Brett, I mean, I think if I was a permanent part of the panel and no one picked me, I think I'd be bummed about that.
Yeah.
But Richard...
Well, Brett, I mean, I think Brett and Charles Nelson Riley, they were both part of the first 3, I think.
Oh, I see.
Do you know what I mean? It was just, so they ended up essentially picking 4 because Richard was the 4th. One thing I did want to mention about the Charles Nelson Riley, which I learned about, did you know he had a Tony Award? He won a Tony.
For what?
For How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying.
Good
he was
for him.
He was a pretty successful stage actor. And he was married, he got married to his partner in 1980. And he was gay, but he didn't really, like, he didn't hide it. He was just like, he didn't really talk about it much. But he didn't hide it. I thought that was really cool. Like,
nice.
After learning about that, I'm like, good for him. Because Paul Lynde was also gay, but he hid it. He didn't really.
Did he?
I think he did.
God, he seemed always so gay.
I feel like, I don't know, did he deny it or something? I feel like I read something that, and listeners, please, if I'm wrong, please tell me. But I feel like Paul Lynde was not open about it.
Interesting. I don't remember that.
I can't, alright, please don't hate me if I'm wrong about that. But I thought that was really cool about Charles. Because back then, that's hard. 77? Seriously? That would be hard to do.
Yeah.
Very hard to do.
So would you want to, so if you were on Match Game, this isn't the question, because we know what the question is, it's for the vault. But, like, if you're on Match Game, who would you pick for your big money out of the 70s, out of the 70s crew that you had?
Probably Richard Dawson.
Same.
Yeah.
Or Betty. I'd probably pick, for my crowd, I'd pick Betty.
I would do either Richard Dawson, I can't speak today. Brett Sommers was very good too. Mm-hmm. And Fannie Flagg was really good too.
Brett was so good because she was always so, like, straightforward and level-headed. Like, her answers are funny, or she was funny, but the answer was real.
Yes.
Yes. I think that's the trick.
That is the trick. Definitely, just great. She was happy to be there. They were all just happy to be there and wanted to win. Any
final thoughts before we get into the big vault question?
My only thought is I feel like it really held up. Like, I just feel like
it's still a party. I loved it.
I would still watch Match Game 77, 74, whatever. Yeah. I would still watch those game shows today if they were on.
Yeah.
They held up. They were not dated. They were fun. It made you want to know these celebrities. It made you want to be a contestant or even be in the audience. Like, it was a fun atmosphere, and they just liked being there. You just got that sense that they really just liked being there.
Yeah.
So I thought I held up, and I would absolutely...
This is challenging, the vault. That's what we're doing, right? We're going to put one of these in the big vault.
We're going to put one in the vault.
Okay. Is that what we want to do? Or no?
Yeah, I mean, do we want to revisit game shows again?
Yeah, why not?
So maybe we have like a game show vault.
Okay.
Or something.
Right,
We'll just put it in the vault. You know what? The vault is big enough to throw a game show in
and a
there.
game show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I have a match game question for you too after.
Oh!
Do you want to do that first?
Let's do that first.
All right. So I took a question that was actually on one of the shows that I watched. And I didn't want to get one too easy because honestly, I have to look through a bunch of them because I'm like, Jesus, what other answer is there?
I agree.
And I didn't play it yet, so I'm going to write down and I'm going to see if I can
cool.
match.
Right.
And I have a piece of paper here somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I already look at it. I rolled it up. That's all right. I'll post it on my notebook. All right, so you ready?
Yes.
All right.
I have my paper and my pen.
Do you have the music ready?
Oh, shit.
Do the music.
Oh, my God.
This is the one time we do the music. All right. That's good. Just keep it that way.
Well, I want to...
You want... I love it.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So Little Red Riding Hood said to the wolf, "If you're really my grandmother, show me your blank."
My God. All right.
I'm not sure. This is the first one that came in.
All right.
All right.
All right. Hold on.
We have to turn down that music. Supposed to be background music, Brian.
Well, I wanted people to know we're still here.
Yeah, we're still here.
All right. Ding.
Ding.
Oh, my God. Oh,
all right,
God.
Brian.
I don't know. We're not going to match.
Little Red Riding Hood said to the wolf,
so stupid.
"If you're really my grandmother, show me your..."
I go first?
Yeah.
Pies.
What, is that an innuendo?
No, because like grandmothers bake and stuff, and like especially in a fairy tale, there's always like a nice
that's
pie.
a better answer.
So show me your
See,
pies.
this one was good because it didn't have a definitive
No, I know.
answer.
That's a good one. What did you
I
put?
did dentures.
Oh.
Awesome.
Nice.
What a good show. What a fun
so
show.
Fun.
Oh, we got to figure out the fault.
I hate this. I think I hate this. I think I just love them.
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer for me.
Oh, really? All right. Where's my pen? Oh, it's here. And I think it's not a no-brainer for me, to be honest. I think I'm gonna lean. I know what you're gonna say. All right, here we go.
I know you know what I'm gonna say.
Well, all right, Christina, but we have to, match it. So here we go. We have to write it down.
All right.
Okay. This is making the vault.
Yeah, the other one will never be seen again.
Oh, my God, Christina, I almost forgot. So I asked this question. By the way, follow us, you guys, on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube.
Yes.
But here's the thing. On Instagram, I gave people 4 game shows to choose from.
Yes.
I don't know what you wrote. You don't know what I wrote. But 86% picked Match Game. It beat Password, Let's Make a Deal, and Pyramid.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And I love all of those shows. Let's Make a Deal was so unique.
It was.
Fun.
I love Money Hall. At least I did. God knows now. I didn't like Dick Clark at all. Okay, here we go. Ready?
Yep.
Show.
Match game. And we matched. Good. And the reason why is, at first I love the show anyway.
Yeah.
But it's also very unique to other game shows. Because even like Pyramid is pretty similar to Password.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, it has similar...
Word association.
Yeah, word association. But this is different, and,
Although Alec Baldwin is, really quick, Alec Baldwin is very, very funny. He's a great game show host. And I will say, one time, he said, he's like, "Thank you for joining us on Match Game, where contestants and celebrities have to write down a word." So funny. They make fun of themselves really well.
Yeah, it's great. That's perfect.
Is that it?
I think that's it.
All right. So thanks for joining us, and watch game shows and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Yes.
And
Twitter. And if you have any questions or comments, you can email us at old-roommatespod@gmail.com. Thank you so much for listening.
Till next time.